Hey, how's it going? Welcome to my devlog for Simple Humanoid Interaction Tools, which I am affectionately calling SHIT VR, where I'm working on a hand posing system and full body IK and some other systems for Interaction Toolkit. If you're not familiar with it, this is going to be kind of an overview video, quickly as I can make it, with some new features that I've added since the last devlog. So we'll start with full body. It's pretty good. Again, I've made it to where it has a rotational yaw before it starts to turn, so you can look at your shoulder. You have arm stretch and all the stuff that I had before. Working a little bit with the leg animation. I still need to add turning animation to it, and just need to calculate the speeds a little better. But overall, it's starting to look pretty good. Um, I've been testing the hand coding system with the full body system, which I'll go over right after this. But you'll also notice with this. Um, I'm parenting the hand target. So if you're holding an object that has physics, your hand will carry those physics along with it. So when you're holding an object, your hand will actually stay with it like that, which works pretty good. Okay. Let me go over the hand poser and how I'm doing full body hand posing and some of the features I've added to the hand poser, as well as a couple of features like auto posing and um, physics hands that I'm working on. So let's take a look at uh, the poser. So if we wanted to make a new pose for this weapon, I'll use this one because that's just what I've got set up on. If I click on my attachment point, you'll see that I have a hand pose attachment and I have a hand pose recorder. Hand pose recorder is responsible for saving the scriptable object of the hand pose, so the rotations and positions of the finger joints. So when I click spawn preview, I get a full body preview of what my hand should look like. So the first thing I might want to do would be to position it about where I want it, right? Um, Pretending this is a gun or an object. You can position it. This is actually your attachment point. This is how this object is going to be placed in your hand. So if I wanted to do that, that's what it's going to look like on my hand, just like that. So once I have that, I've added these quick things here to where I can actually quickly pull my thumb in and all my other fingers in between an open and closed pose to give me a quick pose. This would be accustomed to an auto poser. Only I don't like auto pose because it does all the fingers at the same time and offers less control. So I just decided to go with individual fingers like that. And then you can always come in once you have that. If you click on this, and if we have our gizmos enabled, you'll get gizmos. And then you can actually disable the ones that you don't want, and you can come in and you can make changes with the rotations on however you feel like doing them, um, on whatever you need to do. Right? And you can also change the size of the gizmos to get more control. If they're really small, you don't have very much control. It goes really fast and you don't have a lot of control. So what you would really want to do is make them quite large, and then you would get micro movement for each one. Okay, so once we have that, I've moved some of the controls from here to here, just so if you're not clicked on the root, you can still save this pose. So if I save that pose, it's going to ask me where, and it's going to be where I save the map for this, um, under my hand poses. And I'm just going to save it as the same thing, which is right hand full body test. Save. It actually assigned it to my hand poser. So now I can just close my preview and let's go in and play again. When I grab it, it's like my new hand pose. It's fairly simple. Um, Trying to make it as simple as possible. About the only thing that I need to add to that, you notice that my IK has grounders, so it's walking on top of the cube on that uh, on the teleport point. Kind of funny, but fairly easy to use. But I'm trying to go to where it's easy to use for full body and hands only. So let me switch over to hands only real quick, and I'll show you where I'm at with that. And remember, all this is going to transfer over to the full body. I'm just trying to make all these systems, and then I'm pulling them all in and making them work together. About the only thing that I think that I need to add, which I know like three ways to do this that I'm working with, to mirror the pose for the right and the left for full body because the transforms are different. So if you're using hands only, you only need one hand pose because you could just use the same hand for your left and your right. So not really needed for that, but I'm going to mirror it just for full body. So that's what I'm going for. Any input on that, I appreciate it. So let me go ahead and pause so you don't have to sit through this. But okay, so I've set myself back to just hands. For the poser, I left it with full body just to show how simple this kind of is to switch out your pose preview. So come down to my right attachment, which is what we're working on. You can see that has my full body preview. Well, if I want to switch my preview out, I have another preview, which is just my hand. So if I come to my right and I grab my right hand, right there, I've changed my preview. So now I can spawn my preview and I have my new one. Right now, I still got the pose for my body, so this won't work. So if I wanted to make a new one, it's the same thing. I can drag these in and do the things. And if I want my gizmos, um, if I want my gizmos, click on the gizmo root, and then I can actually disable the ones that I don't want, and I can go and do same things just like I just showed you. So let's just move this down and make it different, right? Rotate it around, maybe move it back a bit. Okay, so maybe I want it in just a little bit good in the palm of the hand. And perhaps I want to rotate it a bit this way, right? So we can do our thumb, get that in almost like you're holding a gun. Or index, we can bring that in, bring in our middle, and then come back around. My ring back out, and pinky back out. Oh, it gets more size. Um, and obviously I can go in and I can do my gizmos again if I wanted to. So see how my pinky's kind of infiltrating here. If I come down to my pinky, I can then bring him out a little bit and get him to sit a little bit better. So once I have that, I click Save Pose, and then we'll just say right, right, test. I'll just save. It'll automatically assign it to my attachment point, and then I can go ahead and close my preview. And now when I hit play, has my new pose. I've got it slowed down so that you can actually see how it's actually lerping its positions into it. And this is the same thing I'm parenting. So the hand stay with the weapon. I'm going to add a breakaway distance. So if it gets stuck, if you were to do something like this, put it back here. I want to give a way to actually control that a little bit better. But there's that. Now, since I've got these hands open, let me go over to my left hand. I still need to incorporate these two together, but I come over here. Is it on my right hand or is it on the oh. Okay, so if I come over to my left hand, you see I've got an auto poser here. I still need to incorporate these two together. I just built them separately because I was thinking about making this part of the hand poser. But basically, right now where it's at, let's go over to another object that does not have an attachment point, and it's on my left hand. See, I've got a different type of animation on this. Um, I've got auto poser, so wherever you grab it, it's going to do the best that it can to just auto pose to the object, like so. Um, this is probably going to work a little bit better once I incorporate it with the next thing I'll show you, which is physics hands. Um, so this works with other objects as well. It's really just the way that it hits. Got a desk in front of me, so it's kind of difficult, but there we go. Yeah. Um, so the next thing I was working on is this, which is something I started working on the other day. Um, let me go ahead and pause. So the next thing I started working on to incorporate with all this, um, you'll see that my hands are identical. The hand poses do this and that and this and this and that. And this hand has physics, this hand does not. So this hand moves through objects, this one does not. I'm working on several different ways that I know how to do hand physics and trying to incorporate it into um, XR Interaction Toolkit. Uh, Long road to go, but this may end up being full body physics, like hexabody or something like that. It most likely will be, or maybe an option. Um, but that's where it's at. Let me know what you think. It's coming along. I appreciate it.